Hello guys, welcome back. How are you? I hope you are good and doing well. So in the last two lectures, we exported the active record data using CSV and Excel format, but from the controller action. Though this is working, but not a preferable way to do this using controller action, because right now we are testing this into the development mode and with very less data. Okay, but think of a case that there are records in thousands or lakhs, or there are millions of records. Okay, so in that case, then achieving the export features from the controller action is not a good approach. Okay, so in this lecture we will make this improvement and use the active jobs for exporting the data into the CSV and Excel format. Okay, so let's start this. So first we need to create an active job to prepare the job data into CSV. Okay, so let's switch to the terminal. Okay, and open a new tab. Okay, so here what we need to do, here we first need to generate an active job. Okay, so rails g export, sorry, rails g job export job applications. Okay, and once this job get generated, we need to implement the perform action for it. Okay, so let's go to the code file. Okay, and open this job. So here you can see export job applications, and here we need to generate this. Okay, so first what we will do here, that we will accept a user argument to which we need to send this exported file as an email. Okay, so user, which is the current user. Okay, and then the job. Okay, and then search params. Why search params here? Because we also want to consider the case if user want to export only the filtered data. Okay, now go to the jobs controller. Okay, and in the jobs controller you can see that in the show action what we have this applied jobs like this. Okay, so let's copy this here and paste it into the active job. Okay, so here what we will do, that we will remove this at the rate sign. Okay, because at that sign we only use to display the data onto the view file. Okay, but since this is the active job, we don't need this at the rate sign here. Okay, now we need to prepare the CSV data. Okay, so again we can copy this line from the controller, which is CSV data from the show action. Okay, and then paste it here. Okay, and then replace this at the rate by applied jobs. Now we need to send this CSV data to some email. Okay, so we need to generate a new mailer which is handling the responsibility for sending email to the user whenever they export something. Okay, so we can name our mailer as, let's say, export mailer. Okay, so let's do is export mailer dot send job applications, or send exported job applications. Send exported job applications, and then user CSV data, and then job dot deliver now. Okay, so this is the job that we implemented. Now we need to generate this export mailer. Okay, so go to the terminal again and generate the mailer. So rails g mailer, and name your mailer as export mailer with send export job applications action. Okay, Rails gmailer export with this action. Okay, so this will create a mailer with, and you can find these two actions there. Okay, so sorry, these two actions template there. Okay, so you can open the export mailer and remove this text.erb template. Okay, because we don't need that, so you can remove this, and now go to this mailer and we need to implement this export mailer. Okay, so remove all the existing implementation, which is these comments and this action. Okay, and instead here what we need to do, now we need to expect some arguments from the job. Okay, since we are calling it with some argument. Okay, so the arguments are like let's say user CSV data, and then job. Okay, now here initialize user. Why? Because we will need this into the template. Okay, to fetch the username. Okay, and at the rate job, we need this to show the job title into the email template. Sorry, email template. Okay, so job. Okay, and then attachments. Why attachments? Because now we are going to send this exported job CSV or exported job application CSV into the as an attachment, okay, whatever the format, whether it is CSV or Excel. So since we are right now trying with the CSV, so we will send this CSV as the attachment, okay. And from here you will also understand that how to send attachments into the email, okay, in Rails. Okay, so now let's provide the name, okay, and we can copy this name from the browser, a controller. Here you can see job applications dot CSV, okay. So here in the export mailer, paste this name, and then you need to assign some MIME types and the content here, okay, like what is the type that for the attachment, okay. So MIME type, which is text CSV, okay, and then content is the CSV data. Okay, it could be anything, like it could be a PDF, it can be a image, or it can be CSV, Excel export, whatever it is, okay. But you need to mention it into the content, and then don't forget to mention the MIME type to the attachment, okay. And then we need to call the action, which is mail to. Okay, so now let's provide the mail to. So at the rate user dot email, and then subject, and the subject is, let's say, your job applications CSV export for now job dot title, okay. So this is the mailer action implementation. Now we need to implement the template for this send exported job applications email, okay. So now come to the views file and remove all the existing implementation from here, okay. And instead here what we need to do, let's say hello user.name, okay. And then here we need to send a greeting message, let's say, uh, as per your request, exporting all job applications for the job title into CSV, we have prepared the data for you, so please find this, attach the CSV into email, okay. So for example, so here what we can do, as per your request, okay. By the way, feel free to customize this message according to your choice, okay. So as per your request, exporting all the job applications for the job, or let's say all the job application received for the job, and then let's say strong tag, and here job dot title, job dot title into CSV, we have prepared the data for you, please check the attached CSV file, okay. And then let's say add a thank you message, okay. Thank you. Okay, so we implemented the mailer and job part. Okay, so here you can see that we created this job, and in this job, what we are doing, we were performing the filtering, fetching the applied jobs using that query. Okay, and then we preparing the CSV data, and then we are sending the CSV data along with the user and job argument to the job params. Okay, to the export mailer. Okay, now what we can do, that from the jobs controller we can remove this data now. Okay, so from CSV, so you can remove that, okay. Sorry, format.csv, you can remove that. Now what we need to do, that we need to implement a mailer action to handle this, okay. So open the routes, and in this routes first we need to add a member action, okay. So here the member action will be like member do, and then create a post action, post export job applications, okay. Sorry, export job applications, okay. Now after creating it, we need to implement it into the jobs controller, okay. So open the jobs company jobs controller, and after the distro action, let's implement this Okay, since this is a member action and we might require the we need to load the job object here. Okay, so we can add this action to the before action list where we are loading the jobs. Okay, so here you can add this action. Okay, and now what we need to do, that we need to implement this. So to for the implementation we need to call this job, which is export job applications job. Okay, so here you can export this and then perform later and provide the argument. And the argument we need is like current user. Okay, so current user. Okay, first check the orders. Okay, so here we are getting user, job and search firm. So current user and then job and then search firms. Okay, and now what we need to do, since this is a post request, so we need to render from this action to, oh sorry, we need to redirect to some other action after coming after serving request from this action. Okay, so since we have the export CSV and export Excel button on the show.html.erb. Okay, so what we need to do here, we need to redirect to the company jobs show path from here. Okay, so respond to do format and then format.html. Okay, and then redirect to. Okay, so first let's say company job path, and we can get this path from the show.html from the company job space. Okay, so here you can see what we have, company job path. So just copy this name. Okay, and I'm just copying it to save the time. Okay, so just copy this and paste it into the jobs controller. Okay, and now you need to remove this CSV format from here. Okay, and then we need to add a notice message, I mean to show the flash message. Okay, so notice is like CSV is being prepared or being generated, and this will be sent to your email. Okay, and save this one. Okay, so this is the controller action implementation that we did. Okay, so make sure that this is the post route. Okay, so you can open the routes.rb for example, just to make sure that this is the post. Okay, so this is the post. Now what we need to do, that we need to change the link to export the CSV on the jobs show template. Okay, so for example here in the company show page you can see that we have this link to export as CSV. Now what we need to do, we need to make it as a button to take. Why button to? Because we have this action set as the post type in our routes and controller. Okay, and the link to behaves as a anchor tag, and anchor tags are in the HTML dedicatedly used for sending the get request. Okay, so what we need to do here, we need to make it button to. Okay, and whenever you have button to take, it is by default sending the request as the post. Okay, so now remove the format.csv from here and save this. Okay, now one can think that why we are still managing the query params in both controller and the button to take. Okay, and the reason is same, that we must have this condition that employer only able to export the data what they are seeing on the browser while requesting for the export. Okay, I mean if they have the filtered data, they can export the filtered data, otherwise they will export all the data by default. Okay, so to handle the filtered data we need this functionality. Okay, now at the last we need to remove the code to export the CSV from the show action in the company jobs controller. Okay, so go to the show action. Okay, so we already did that, so don't need to worry. And now just go to the terminal. Okay, and clear the rails job worker. So rails jobs clear. Okay, and after clearing this we need to run this worker again. Okay, rails jobs work. Okay, why? Because now we are going to test our active job to export the CSV. Okay, now if you go to the browser and refresh the page, you will see that we are getting this button like that. Okay, so make some space into the terminal just to see that whether we are getting our data or not. So click on the export as CSV now, and when you click on the export as CSV and you go to the terminal, okay, so there is some error, action controller routing error, no route matches post company jobs. Okay, sorry, we need to change the path here as well. Okay, so go to the other tab into the terminal. Let's open the other tab and open rails routes grab. Okay, and then let's add export job applications. Okay, and we need this path for the export CSV action. Okay, so go to the show.html.trb again and change this path. Okay, now we need to go to the browser again and refresh the page. Okay, and make some space into the terminal again where the server is running. Okay, and where the job worker is running. Okay, now if you click on the export a CSV, okay, so we are getting current user, so let's make it at the red job in the jobs controller. Okay, so in the export job application it should be at the red job. Save it now and refresh the page again. Okay, and click on the export as CSV. Okay, so as soon as you click on export as CSV, you can see that this flash messages appear. So which is saying CSV is being generated and this will be sent to your email. Okay, and if you check the logs, you can see in the delayed job worker that this export job application job has been invoked. Okay, and it has been completed. Okay, so and you can also see that in the server logs that a new delayed job entry has been created. Okay, and where the job name is export job applications. Okay, and you can also see the email preview. Here you can see hello, that is the employer name, and as per your request exporting all the job applications received for the job DevOps engineer required into CSV, we have prepared the data for you, please check the attached CSV file. And if you open this CSV, you can see the data here. Okay, so right now we are seeing all the data. Okay, because on the show page what we did that we do not filter any data. Now let's try to filter some data. For example, let's say 1 week and serving notice period, yes, and filter applications. So you will see only 3 job applications received here. Okay, and now click on export as CSV, so you will see this flash message. Okay, and a new CSV has been generated. So when you click on this, okay, you will see only filtered data into the CSV. So you can see these 3 records that we have in the CSV. Okay, let me show in the CSV. So we have only these 3 CSV records, these 3 records into the CSV, and on the browser you will also see these 3 records only. Okay, so our export as CSV using ActiveJob is working now. Okay, now with very minimal changes we can achieve this for the Excel export as well. Okay, so let's do that change. So what we need to do that go to the show.html first again. Okay, I mean for the company jobs show page, and here what you need to do, just copy this link. Okay, sorry, copy this button tag and remove this link to tab. Okay, and here export as Excel. Okay, and then we need to permit another param, let's say as CSV. Okay, and here as XLS. Okay, now let's go to the jobs controller. Okay, and here we need to pass the params as. Okay, I mean for which format we want to export this. Okay, now we need to make some changes accordingly into the active job as well. Okay, so go to the export job application job, and here what we can do, let's say export format, and make it like CSV by default. Okay, and then here what we need to do, that first we need to fetch if export format is equal to CSV. Okay, else if export format is equal to XLS. Okay, now what we need to do, that you just need to go to here and make it data. Okay, and then for the Excel format, what we need to do, we need to do this thing, generate Excel. Okay, so let's do this thing here as well in the else part. Okay, so data and make it applied jobs, and then it is job. Okay, and here what you need to do, you need to pass the data object. Okay, so here you can see that we are using export mailer send exported job applications with user data and job now. Okay, and why we are separating into this job, that let's say if user want to generate the CSV, sorry, XLS rather than CSV. Okay, so we can use the different services to export the CSV in Excel, but we can use the same export mailer to achieve that. Okay, now we need to change the mailer action as well. Okay, so go to the export mailer, and here what we need to do, make it data rather than CSV data. Okay, and then we need to fetch the export format here as well. Okay, let's pass it from the job as well. So export format. Okay, and come to the mailer, and here what we need to do, at that export format equal to export format dot uppercase. Okay, and then we need to define the MIME type. Okay, MIME type is equal to at that export format equal to XLS. Okay, if it is XLS, then we need to change the MIME type, which is application slash vnd dot msxl. Okay, otherwise it will be text CSV. Okay, so depending upon the requested format by the user, we are changing the MIME type here. Okay, now what we need to do, that we need to change this MIME type as a variable here. Okay, so MIME type, and now just pass content as the data. Okay, rather than CSV data, otherwise you will get the error. Okay, and here what we need to do, your job application CSV, then we need to use here at the rate export format. Okay, and save this. Now let's change the mailer template as well. Okay, because we are using this CSV text into the mailer format, so we need to change it here as well. Okay, so rather than this CSV, what we can do, we can just use, let's say, at the rate export format. Okay, and last but very important is to change the controller action as well. Okay, so go to the jobs controller, and here what we can do, in the company jobs controller, you can see that in the show action we can remove this format.xls as well. Okay, now we can remove this entire responder to block. Okay, because by default it is serving the HTML request. Okay, so this is fine now, and we already updated the export job applications argument with current user job search params and params edge. Okay, now save all the changes and go to the show page of your company jobs. Okay, so save it and save the job applications job as well, sorry, export job application job as well, and export mailer, and send exported job application.html.erb as well. Okay, now let's refresh the page. First reset it. Okay, and click on the export as Excel. So first make some space into the terminal. Okay, by the way, let's make one more change into the jobs controller, which is here, rather than CSV, what we need to do, params as. Okay, like if it is XLS, so XLS is being generated and this will be sent to your email. Okay, save it, and now refresh the job space, export as CSV first. So when you export as CSV, you will see CSV is being generated and this will be sent to your email. Okay, and you can see the generated CSV here. Okay, and yeah, one more thing that we forget to do in the uh, export mailer, that right now what we need to do here, we need to use export format. Okay, so just to save this and refresh the page again, and now let's try to export the XLS. So if you export the XLS, you can see XLS is being generated and this will be sent to your email. And here you can see that this is the XLS file, it is generated. And now if you down open this, you can see that we are still seeing the same format of the XLS that we see while exporting it individually from the controller action. Okay, so this is what we achieved through the active jobs here. Okay, and this is a better approach. I would say this is a much better approach to achieve this functionality using some active job and mailers. Okay, so here we just created the active job and we are invoking the mailer to send the exported file as attachments and free our controller action from exporting the CSV and XLS. Okay, now our show action is only dedicated to filter the data or to display the by default applied jobs for the job application, and we created this separate action to export the job applications in both CSV and Excel format. Okay, and here you can make it params as uppercase. Okay, so this is the thing that we did. Okay, and this is much better way. Okay, so we have achieved this using the background job. So I hope you like this lecture and we will meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care and stay safe. Try to follow this.